let's make lemonade. Okay. Let's go to work.
That's the signal. Go. 6. It's beautiful. Mother Nature just pissed her pants, dude!
Start your day with a jolt of energy and no-holds-barred opinions. This is The Rush, where Travis Justice and Ross Peterson bring you bold, unfiltered, and uncensored takes on sports, life, and everything in between. Buckle up and let's go.
Monday, everybody. Welcome to the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive. Good to have you here on a Monday. If you're listening on the audio stream at therushradio.com, on the Rush Radio Android app or the TuneIn app, thank you so much for dialing us in this morning. If you're watching on YouTube, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Give this video a like. Leave your comments in the comments section. And, of course, you can always follow us on our social media channels, X at Rush Mornings, Facebook, The Rush with Travis and Ross, and Instagram, The Rush Radio Show. Good morning, Ross Peterson. How you doing there, buddy?
Doing good, man. Fun weekend, fast weekend. Slept good last night. Ready for a fun week here.
You know, I'm a bachelor for the next 2 weeks. My wife is...
2 weeks?
2 weeks. 2 weeks. All by myself.
All right.
I know. Anjanette left on Saturday before I got back from Phoenix. She went over to the Amana Colonies for Oktoberfest, and so she was sending me videos of Oktoberfest. She spent the night at her sister's, then ventured on to Mississippi yesterday, where she's going to be a grandma and a nanny for the next 2 weeks, because Abigail goes back to work today. My daughter has been off since... early August, of course, when Sutton was born, and it's time to go back to work. So Anjanette said, well, you know, I'm going to take this opportunity to be a nanny. And so, and then I realized last night I think it's healthy, but what a different relationship my wife and I have. And meaning that she left on Saturday, and we have spoken only on the phone twice. And yesterday, she got to Mississippi. We haven't talked, and she just sent me a photo last night of her and Sutton just cuddling together. But I go, oh, that's true love. But I woke up this morning, I'm like, most people would find that weird that, you know, we don't call each other before we go to bed or something like that. It's just like, all right, have fun. We'll see you in a couple of weeks. That's what I was. We'll probably talk like every other day. Is that weird, or is that because everybody's different, right?
I mean, you're asking the wrong guy, because I would prefer to talk to my spouse while they were out of town.
Yeah, it's not that I don't.
That'd be my preference. Some people don't like to talk to their spouse when they're out of town, apparently.
It's not that we don't like to talk, but I think we're like, if we don't have anything to say.
My ex didn't like to talk to me when she was on vacation.
But it's one of these things where she doesn't have anything new to report. Because I always ask her the same question. Did you hear from Mary? Did you hear from Greta? Did you hear from Abigail? Well, you're with Abigail. I know you didn't hear from Owen because Owen's with me. So and all I ever ask her is about the kids. I go, did you make it? Okay, we're good. We're good. You're down there. You're settled in, and we're all good that way. So yeah, maybe I'll call her later and say, how was day one with the baby? I'll be that nice.
I think you guys have been together long enough. You can sense it.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. We're coming up on almost 40 years together. We've only been married 33 years, I think it is, but together almost 40. And I'm like, I just think she's sick of me, and that's a strong possibility.
Real truth there, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, just kind of a batch-in-it weekend, and
nice,
got home.
Fun.
And if people didn't know this, we did do a Black and Gold Rush on Saturday. We went live about 3:30, did an hour show. And if you missed it, it's up on our YouTube channel. It's on the podcast channel, so you can go back and check that out. Ross and I talked about a lot of stuff that was going on in college football. Of course, Iowa State got beat. We'll get to that a little bit later on, kind of previewing the Iowa-Wisconsin game that's coming up this weekend. And as we were in the middle of that, UCLA was on its way to victory. I didn't think UCLA would win. I thought for sure Penn State would come back and win that game. They came back, but just couldn't close it. We'll talk a little bit about that as well.
I thought we saw, as Iowa fans, I thought we saw Nico Amialavola. I thought we saw him at his best.
Yeah.
He was amazing on Saturday against Penn State. That's a kid that you watch and go, oh, that's an NFL draft pick. He did all of the Caleb Williams, Kyler Murphy, Vince Young. They were comparing him to Vince Young. They're like, he's looks like Vince Young out there on this Rose Bowl field.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at his passing stats, you okay there?
I just about sent the MacBook across the studio there with my elbow.
Nico Imalavala didn't have the best passing stats against Penn State, but he was able to run the football effectively. And Dr. Rob and I went into this yesterday as we were recording. And I want to know how this all went down. They fired their offensive coordinator, UCLA, in the middle of the week last week. And I want to know if Rick Neuheisel's kid, you're sitting there, and just hear me out. Conspiracy theory, I don't know how all this stuff takes place. But you have an interim head coach. You have a coaching staff that's probably looking at going, hey, we're all going to be out of a job at the end of the year if something doesn't change. And Rick Neuheisel's kid is emotionally attached to UCLA. His dad is a former player there, former coach there. And you just wonder if it was, you walk into the interim head coach's office and go, you know what? If we're just going to do the status quo, we're all going to be out on our ass at the end of the year. We've got to make a change. And I have a plan with Nico Imalavala that I think can lead us to victory. We're not using him the way he needs to be used. We're not playing to his strengths. Do you walk in and say, hey, fire this guy and put me in charge? Because you shoot your shot, right? I mean, it's a dangerous thing to do. And this is just my opinion. I don't know if this went down this way, but you just wonder, hey, I'm a tight ends coach, but I think I can run this offense, and I think I can put this quarterback in a position to win. Let's make a change at offensive coordinator.
That's interesting, Trav. Chances are, that those coaches inside that room knew. Chances are those coaches in that room were quietly for a long time going, damn, dude, Neuheisel's got his shit together. He's got this thing figured out a little bit, doesn't he? Or, I mean, that's my guess, is that somebody in that room was like, hey, we might have a budding superstar here. Or we got a guy that at least thinks of things outside the box. See, they carried him off the field?
Yeah, I mean, it was a celebration. And Rick Neuheisel was on CBS Sports at that time. He's a studio analyst, and he apologized to Penn State fans because he's supposed to be, a non-partial commentator. I'm like, you don't have to apologize for rooting for your kid. You don't have to apologize.
This is like when Darrell Waltrip is in the booth for Michael Waltrip winning the Daytona 500, and he's crying.
Yeah.
Come on, Mikey. Come on, Mikey.
Boogity, 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 boogity.
He's supposed to be calling the race, and he's crying for his brother to win the race.
Yeah.
And that's the race Dale Earnhardt died. But that's the same race. Same race. So Dale Earnhardt dies as Darrell Waltrip's crying for his brother to get across the finish line. I can't blame Rick Neuheisel for that.
No.
Man, when they kept showing him on the sideline, Trav, I swear.
Did you think it was Rick Neuheisel?
No. No, I thought it was Renee Neuheisel.
with the hair?
I swear to God, the first couple times they showed him, I was like, I wonder who that lady is on the sideline they're showing. Because he's got like long flowing ball. He's got the California kid look, right?
Yeah.
And we were doing the show, so I wasn't hearing the game. I wasn't hearing the broadcast. I just saw them kind of flashing over there and showing him. Fantastic story. Somebody wrote in, Kirk wrote in and said, heck of a story. Rick Neuheisel's son installed the game plan 2 days before the game.
Yeah, and they talked about it. And that may be a reason that Penn State was caught off guard. You game plan for a certain type of offense. You game plan for what you've seen on film, and then you totally shake things up and you do the exact opposite, and you're caught off guard. Now, they made some adjustments, Penn State did in the second half, but it wasn't enough, and Penn State still found ways to move the football in the second half and just was able to hold off Penn State. And just one of the bigger shockers we've seen in college football in some time. I mean, that was a major upset.
Huge upset. Huge. Trav, let's clarify something for one of our listeners, because Kirk says, sorry. Mike said technically not the OC, just the play caller for now. No, he's the offensive coordinator. At least that's the reports I've seen. Fox Sports says the Bruins offensive coordinator with sun-bleached blonde hair and bounding energy on the sideline was carried off the field. He is the official offensive coordinator now that they've shaken things up again, right?
And by the way, if you're the play caller, you're the offensive coordinator in my book.
Well, I'm seeing reports that he's the official OC. Either way, really cool story.
Yeah, and he talked about his passion for UCLA. It's a great story, but even if this coaching staff gets fired at the end of the season, which is still a strong possibility, he solidified himself as a guy that's going to have a job next year somewhere, and probably as an OC, just because he was able to put that game plan together. Ross, let's look at Penn State. And James Franklin may or may not be on the hot seat, which is crazy. But when you can't win the big game and you turn around and lose to UCLA, it's people go, have we plateaued? You now have Texas and Penn State, who were the preseason number 1 and number 2 teams in the country. Preseason poll, number 1 and number 2 are both out of the top 25.
I thought that first game of the season was number 1 versus number 2.
It depends on what. I think one was. I'm trying to think if Ohio State was.
Poll's the only one that matters, right?
So then it would have been number 1 again. I think Ohio State was number 3 in the AP poll. I'll have to go back and look.
Okay.
But either way,
Penn State they were both top 5 teams on every poll.
Yeah, on every poll are both now out of the AP top 25. Again, Dr. Rob brought this up yesterday, and I never thought of this. Did Oregon beat Penn State twice? Hear me out here.
I like where you're going. I don't know where you're going, but I like it.
Did Oregon beat Penn State twice? And this was a discussion we had yesterday in the fact that Oregon goes to Happy Valley last week, wins an overtime game, night game. You got the whiteout. You got all the emotion. And then you are emotionally deflated.
Oh, dude.
Then you have to get on a plane, go to California.
Kind of a trap game type thing. That
kind of a 100%. You didn't win. Did that mentally stub Penn State for the UCLA game? You want to give UCLA all the credit in the world, and I am. I mean, it was a fabulous game plan. But even when Penn State was rolling, you could see there was a physical difference. There was an athletic difference.
That's why we kept going. Penn State's going to win this game.
Yes.
Yeah, and then dude, they brought it back to. I mean, did they get it back down to a 3-point game and they're getting the ball?
Yeah, I believe.
Like, yeah, man, good run, UCLA. Good run.
And still,
fourth down stops. Nico continues to keep plays alive. Fun. Huge win, dude. James Franklin on the hot seat when it was about halftime of that game, and you said that, like, hey, if they lose this game, James Franklin hot seat. Oh, you're probably right. You don't get many misses like this at a Penn State.
No.
And especially, Trav, put it in the context of being a top 5 preseason team, what those expectations were. Now you've shown that you can't play with those big dogs, and you can lose games to the bottom dwellers. An 0-4 UCLA team just beat a team that was supposed to be a top 5 team in the country. That'll be interesting. James Franklin to the hot seat.
Perusing the internet today, I mean, SI had a big article about it's just time for James Franklin to go elsewhere to take a different job. CBSSports.com had, the hot seat meter and James Franklin being on it. And that just comes down to expectations. Penn State expects to compete for national titles. Penn State expects to be in the conversation, and they were in the conversation, but then they get beat by Oregon, and then they lose to UCLA. And after the game, the TV commentators, and I don't know who they were, they're like, you know, if Penn State still has a chance at the playoff, but they're going to have to beat Ohio State. And I'm like, I think they're out of the playoff conversation. We're halfway through the season. You have 2 losses. You're sitting there at 3-2, and you lose to an 0-4 team. I don't know how you get back into it. And you fall out of the top 25. I've seen stranger things, but a loss to UCLA is going to be a knock against your strength of schedule. It's going to be a knock against everything you do. I mean, this team lost to New Mexico.
So that you're right. So UCLA, you mean lost to New Mexico? I didn't want to interrupt you there.
Yeah.
People to think Penn State lost to New Mexico. Penn State's lost back-to-back games to Oregon and UCLA. Their wins are against Nevada, FIU, and Villanova. They haven't beat anybody. But here's what they've got ahead of them, okay? They do have an opportunity. They have 2 top 10 teams remaining on their schedule. Ohio State, they play at Ohio State, and they host Indiana. So let's just say Penn State beats Northwestern next week. Then they play at Iowa. I like that game. I like that game now. That game which we had an inked L next to every time we did the season matchups because we saw Penn State as a top 5, top 10 team. Now we look at it and go, okay, Indiana was the top 10 team. We had Indiana on the ropes. We didn't play our best game against Indiana and lost that game, and they're a top 10 team. We're not as crappy as we thought.
Now we're going to find out a lot about Indiana this weekend. They go to Oregon and play the Ducks. So we're going to find out even more about Indiana. I don't know if Indiana will be a top 10 team when they take on Penn State or not.
Here's my thing on Penn State. Okay, let's just put my Hawkeye fandom aside and we're saying, can Penn State get back into this thing? Yes, they can. Yes, they can. Because they've got Northwestern, they've got Iowa, Ohio State, and Indiana. Miracles happen. They win those 4 games, they're back in the top 10.
Yeah, I probably agree. Especially if they wanted Ohio State, right. 100%. Yeah.
And I don't know. With 2 losses in the Big Ten, can you get back to being like somebody said on the comment section, if they went out there, or Nathan wrote this, they went out there in the Big Ten championship. I don't know that. I don't know that 2 losses can get you to the Big Ten championship. They are, because they're 3-2 in the Big Ten right now. You'd have to have every other team in the Big Ten lose 2 games. And I don't know that that'll happen. I mean, I don't. Oregon, Ohio State, and Indiana are all undefeated. Indiana obviously has to go and play Ohio State or
Oregon.
Oregon.
Is Michigan left?
You still have 4 one-loss teams that would be ahead of you that would all have to take on a second loss. Those teams are Michigan, Illinois, USC, and Washington. And we could go through those schedules. Again, can it happen? Yes. There's a lot of hurdles between Penn State getting back to that Big Ten championship game. You know what I hope happens? I love the chaos. I hope they fire James Franklin.
I don't know if they fire him or if he, like SI said, just it's time for you to go. Maybe look for a different job. Maybe just because you look at the records against top 10 teams, you look at the record against top 10 teams in the Big Ten, it's not good. You've plateaued, and the numbers tell you you've plateaued. You just can't get over that hump. And it's crazy to think, but if you're Penn State, you're like, you've been great, you've been good, you've been borderline great. Hell, they were great last year, but still couldn't win the big one. Speaking of, not being great, Texas. Arch Manning. Texas now 3-2 on the season and taking on top 10 Oklahoma this weekend in the Red River Shootout at the Cotton Bowl. Arch Manning has been a flop. There's no other way to say it other than he has been a flop based on the expectations that he had to have put upon him coming into the season. Some of that was media-driven. Some of that, well, most of it's media driven because he was a Manning, right? And you just look at it and go, man, great players, when the pressure's on them, step up and do great things. This kid has had, it's not, do we blame Arch Manning? I mean, he took the scholarship and did he hype himself up? I don't think he hyped himself up like some other players, but
blame's the wrong word here.
Yeah.
You don't not blame Arch Manning for the hype or Arch. His season stats right now are not atrocious. It's not like, oh my gosh, you got to make a change here. But he's not lived up to that expectation. So that expectation, Travis, I do think is several-fold. First and foremost, it's Texas. When you become the Texas starting quarterback, that means something. We didn't know who Quinn Ewers was until Texas gave him a scholarship. You can go. What I'm saying is, none of these guys had the Manning name behind them.
Because Quinn Ewers was highly recruited, went to Ohio State to start with,
just for the NIL deal. Remember that. That was one of those deals where it was very obvious and it was pretty much out in the open. Something behind the scenes happened there between Texas and Ohio State. We knew he was going to Texas. He decommitted from Texas, went to Ohio State just to get the NIL deal to sign some stuff, and then was back at Texas a year later. Something behind the scenes happened there. My conspiracy brain going nuts there on a Monday morning. But that's my head believes that. Something happened there where they said, hey, we don't have a roster spot for this kid. He needs to make some cash. Can you guys float him some cash here for a while, and then we'll get him back? We'll trade you for a player to be named later. I think something like that happened. So the hype machine behind Manning is several-fold. There's a lot of compounding factors. The biggest compounding factor is that last name. And so that probably falls back on us. That falls back on us as consumers of the news to hear that and go, oh, my God, he's going to be Peyton Manning. Nobody said that. Nobody said that. We put that in our own brains. He's the Texas starting quarterback. That boom, that number, that's all of a sudden that puts you here. We don't have to watch you play to go, well, Texas thinks you're the best quarterback. You got to be amazing. So I think there's just all these different factors that come into it, and one of them is you're the Texas starting quarterback. If he were the starting quarterback at Lehigh, none of us would know. None of us would know. There would be every now and again somebody would be like, oh, yeah, by the way, did you hear that Cooper Manning's kid is playing somewhere? You'd very, very rarely hear it. So I think that the biggest thing is Texas. And then all the things that blow up out of Texas. You know, everybody in Texas thinks that their ding-a-ling's bigger than everything else. So they brag about it. Oh, best things happen in Texas, including the biggest expectations. And he has not lived up to that. I mean, again, his numbers are not horrible but they've also played some cupcakes in there that helped him puff those numbers up. 18 of 135. So he's about 60%, something like that. He's thrown for 1,151 yards. He has 11 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. He has been sacked 9 times. His quarterback rating is 151. So, I mean, it's hard for me as a Hawkeye fan to look at that and go, yeah, that's really crappy quarterback numbers, isn't it?
But when you look at the numbers, the only number that matters is wins and losses in big games.
Yes, and no doubt about it, he has not lived up to that expectation. No doubt about it. He's not performing like a guy that's supposed to be the starting quarterback for Texas. First and for that first thing, starting quarterback for Texas. That means this. Well, he's here. He's below that line. His last name is Manning. That means this. Well, he's below that line.
Preseason odds-on favorite to win the Heisman Trophy.
I forgot about that. Right.
No way is he going to win the Heisman Trophy.
Doesn't even look like he belongs in that. I mean, like you watch Nico. And you go, oh, that's a fantastic college quarterback. Not good. He's fantastic. And you watch Arch Manning, and we have watched him and gone, this guy?
Preseason first-round draft pick, maybe the number one pick in the NFL draft.
I love the idea. Maybe he's tanking so he doesn't have to play for the Browns.
Would the Browns take another quarterback?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're probably right. You're probably right.
They're going to hit eventually, Trav.
I mean, the loss to Ohio State, not a bad loss. You lost at
right.
Losing at Florida. Again, you're going to say, well, that's the swamp. It's Florida. They have talent.
Florida has not been good.
No. Billy Napier saved his job for another week.
Yeah. You had talked about that for weeks leading up to it.
Yeah.
I mean, again, you can't fluff your stats against Sam Houston and San Jose State. And that's what we're looking at. He did have 263 yards against Florida. 295 against San Jose, 309 against Sam Houston. Travis, he threw for 114 yards against UTEP. And don't forget, not only is it Oklahoma this weekend, at Kentucky, at Mississippi State, home with Vanderbilt, at Georgia. Then they host Arkansas and host Texas A&M, number 5 team in the country, to end the season.
And the most important game there is Texas A&M.
Well,
they're all important, but
right.
that
First one's Oklahoma. First most important game's Oklahoma, but you're right. If you could have one game on that list where you go for 395 yards, look amazing, 28 of 32, you want it to be Texas A&M, end the season on that note, get to a cool bowl game.
Going back to what Lane Kiffin said last week, the dynasties in college football are over. And the transfer portal has played a big part of that. NIL has. But you have talent. Like he said, when he was at Alabama, he'd go to the linebacker core, and there'd be like the third string guy would be a first-round draft pick. Well, that's not going to happen anymore because that guy's going to go, if I'm not going to go play, I'm going to go take the money someplace. I'm going to go play somewhere else. And which makes college football more exciting. To me, I don't like dynasties.
I'm with you. I heard Lane Kiffin say that the other day, and I was like, louder for the folks in the back. Louder for the people that are constantly saying, "Oh, this is the death of college football. We can't let these players make money. This is the death of college football. We have to let Alabama win every year. That's the only way that college football is fun, is if Alabama kicks our ass all the time, and then we get to sit around and bitch about it. What are we going to bitch about if they level the playing field and we lose?" And so we level the playing field. Say, hey, we're going to give everybody a decent chance here. We're going to try to bring things up above board. We're going to make sure that Alabama's stacks of cash aren't swinging this thing every week. Like when Nick Saban went to Congress, I was like, oh yeah. This means he knows. He knows he's going to Congress to bitch and moan because this thing's about to change. Good. It's changing. And good, we've got parity. And good, other teams have a chance at getting talent. And I think Lane Kiffin is right. I think that the days of the days of the dynasty in the SEC, like Alabama just being able to run roughshod,
and Georgia as well,
Georgia or LSU. But I do think that there's always going to be the haves.
And I will agree with you. Ohio State's always going to be a have.
Texas is always going to be a have. Alabama, those teams are always going to get some talent. They're going to be at the top, the top of the crop there.
But it's not a guaranteed win anymore.
Exactly. But what we've done now is we've made it so that Texas can start the season and be out of the top 25. Penn State can start the season in the top 5 and be out. And you can have UTEP give you a game. I like it. I like this a lot better.
You see Ross is wearing a Rush Radio shirt. Look at that, supporting the brand. It's all for the brand. And we had somebody who said, if I'm going to listen to the show drinking coffee, I'm going to get a Rush Radio coffee mug. So we have coffee mugs, we have sweatshirts, we have T-shirts. If you're watching on YouTube, go ahead and scan that QR code. That'll take you right to the merch page. If you're listening on the audio stream, go ahead and go to therushradio.com, click on the merch tab, and see our assortment of merch where 15% of the sales go to Can Play Iowa. Also, of course, you've got Iowa going to be at Wisconsin this weekend. You've got Iowa State at Colorado this weekend. But you may have your own tailgate party in your garage. That's why we encourage you to go to Central City Liquors to stock up on all your party needs or all your drinking needs. So just swing by Central City Liquors, and they've got whatever you want. They've got it. More than 165 single malts, 130 tequilas, Ross. 130 tequilas. I'm into the tequila lately. Tequila and soda. And 50-plus bourbons, all at Central City Liquors. We'll take a break. We'll come back on the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
The Rush Radio is now on the free TuneIn app, allowing you to enjoy the show on Apple products and Android Auto. Download the free TuneIn app and search The Rush Radio to take Travis and Ross wherever you go.
Your house wasn't built for bats, birds, or raccoons, but try telling them that. At Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions, we've been helping Iowans take back their homes for over 20 years. We use cost-effective, eco-friendly methods to solve wildlife and pest problems the right way. Whether it's bats in your attic, birds in the vents, raccoons in your chimney, or moles in your yard, we have long-term solutions. Call Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions today at 515-218-3400, and let's make sure your home doesn't become their home.
There's more Iowa in the Iowa Tap Room than you may realize. Housed in a building nearly as old as Iowa itself, the Iowa Tap Room greets you with a harvest of 120 Iowa craft beers on tap from all corners of the state. And the food doesn't get much more Iowa than this. The Iowa Tap Room, all Iowa beer, one amazing place.
There's always something new at Fong's Pizza. The patio is open and ready for you, your friends, and an ever-changing menu of tiki drinks. Or try our new noodle dishes alongside your favorite slice. It's all happening this summer at the new Fong's in the East Village.
Thinking about buying a home? Get pre-approved in 30 minutes with Gary Presnell at Northwest Bank in Des Moines. Gary offers first-time home buyers programs, VA, FHA, IFA, and conventional loans. Call Gary at 515-975-6767 or find his profile at nw.bank. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
You know, Brian, at Central City, we really do have the best selection around.
I know. High-quality stuff you can't find anywhere else.
Whistle Pig Plantation Rum.
Yeah, and over 150 of the best scotches on earth.
And a ton of bitters, mixers, and more.
You know what we are? High class.
Definitely high class, yeah.
Make way for the natty.
Okay, maybe medium class.
Central City Liquors, home of the 10% cash coupon.
And the Wooden Nickel program.
A fuel choice that even rivals can agree on? Now that's worth the hype. Cheaper, cleaner, and homegrown. Pump it up with unleaded 88.
After Hawkeye football games this fall, Travis and Ross are right where they belong, with you taking your calls and giving unfiltered feedback. Right after Hawkeye football games, it's the Black and Gold Rush on the rushradio.com, the TuneIn app, and on YouTube.
This is Darcy at Willis Chevrolet. When's the last time that you got new tires? From now till the end of November, we are offering buy 3 tires, get 1 for $1. Our extreme savings. Also, if you sign up for a GM credit card, you can get another $250 off the price of the 4 tires. So it's a win-win. Give us a call today, and we can price you a set of 4, or visit us online to set up an appointment at willischevy.com.
back like a rash you thought was gone. Travis and Ross aren't contagious, but they are addictive. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
You know, here in Iowa, we grow corn, but the truth is corn grows Iowa. Corn benefits the entire state. It feeds our livestock, nourishes our family, and provides homegrown, clean-burning, unleaded 88 for our vehicles. Pump it up with unleaded 88. Go to iowacorn.org. You know, you and I talked a couple times over the weekend. We didn't even talk about what we did over the weekend. I said I was a bachelor for the next 2 weeks. But you went to Adam Sandler on Friday night, or Saturday night, and how was the Adam Sandler show? Oh, hold on. Unmute yourself. Unmute yourself.
How does that happen? Did you see my little screen go black there when you came back?
Yeah. I don't know.
Anyway, all right.
I don't know.
I had a good time on Saturday night. Man, first of all, I started down at Little Giant Beer Summit.
Oh, yeah. How'd Little Giant go?
I might have had the best beer I've ever had.
Really?
It was incredible. I've always loved the Toppling Goliath, Morning Delight, and you know, Toppling Goliath just does fantastic beers. Their barrel-aged stouts are just on a different level, man. They are like this creamy. It's awesome. It's almost like when Bourbon County, when Bourbon Counties come out, and the first couple times you have those, you're like, oh, that's a different beer. And then Toppling Goliath figured that thing out. This like real creamy, stout, thick, flavorful thing. The one that we had, I'm going to have to get Bruno on and maybe even reach out to Teresa to see what that one was called. I think, I want to say it was an alluvial. Remember, it was an A. The brewery started with an A. It was the top one alphabetically. It was out of this world good. So that started Saturday night with that. Went down to Casey Center, hung out with Tommy and his wife Brooke. And then hung out with my buddy Scott for a little bit. I didn't get to talk to Tommy nearly as much as I was hoping to. I didn't get to catch. It was like, you sold this as like the experience. You get to hang out with Ross. I was like, and then you get in the suite, and really, it's a comedy show too. So you can't really talk. You know what I mean? You got to mostly just sit there and listen, you laugh, and you know, you look at your buddy and you laugh, and you go, oh, that was funny. And that was about it, but you can't really have conversation up there. You know what I mean? So Tommy and I didn't get to really talk a lot, unfortunately. But I had a great time, man. It was super fun. And then he did the only thing that he did that I had ever seen before, Trav, was that Chris Farley song. Have you seen this song about his buddy Chris Farley?
Because he did that on the last tour, right? Didn't he? Because his last tour was...
I think that's when that was. If that was the last tour or the previous thing, I think he did that as part of the SNL 50 deal or something, whatever it was. He did that. By the time that was wrapping up, I think he also did... man, I'm sorry. Give me 1 second.
Thank God for cough buttons.
Dude. I'm sorry. I think that... he did I Want to Grow Old with You. That's the song from The Wedding Singer. That ring a bell to you at all?
I'm sure if I were to go back and watch The Wedding Singer, it would bring memories back to me.
I really did like it. I thought it was fun. It was new. It very much seemed like Adam Sandler. I mean, he was up there in sweatpants and a sweatshirt, and then he took the sweatshirt off and he was wearing sweatpants and a Hawaiian shirt. I mean,
My question is this: was it a comedy show or was it a concert comedy show? Meaning, did he play a song for every? Did he have bits or did he just sing songs, which were comedy based?
Both.
Okay.
Yeah, both. And this is a funny one, dude, because one of my best buddies was with me. I haven't talked to him about this, but Sarah says Scott said Rob Schneider was terrible. I thought Rob Schneider was hilarious. He came out on stage, and I looked at Courtney and I said, hey, I've heard this goes one of two ways. She's like, really? I go, yep. I've heard that Rob Schneider right now is either bombing or killing. There doesn't seem to be much in between from some of the things I've read online. I thought he killed. I thought he was hysterical. He talked about Caitlin Clark. He talked about Iowa. He did some very topical stuff that you could tell he had written recently or specifically for this show. There was nothing like that with Adam Sandler. With Adam Sandler, you got the same you got the same act that he was doing everywhere else, and which was fun. Again, it was very much a very produced show because he's got the musical stuff that interlays. But it was just him with a guitar and a guy on a piano. So there wasn't like a band up there with him. He would tell jokes. He'd tell some stories. He brought his wife up. He brought his daughter up to sing a song. She sang hers was actually like a musical performance. Hers wasn't a comedy thing. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good time. And I did think Rob Schneider was freaking hilarious. And then the other people that he had opening for him were funny as well.
How many? Because when we saw Shane Gillis, I think he had like 4 openers, right? And was Rob Schneider the one right before Adam Sandler?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Man, I wish what's the one guy's name? Was it Lavelle? I've seen him a bunch too, and I can't think of Lavelle Crawford. You ever heard of Lavelle Crawford?
I haven't.
He used to be a real big. I mean, he's kind of a short, big fat guy, right? He lost a ton of weight for a period of time, and not that he's getting bigger, but he's kind of averaged. He has gotten a little bit bigger from when he lost all of his weight. He is freaking hysterical, and I've seen him a bunch, so I kind of knew that when he came out on stage. I'm like, oh, Lavelle Crawford, this guy's really good. I thought Rob Schneider was hilarious, and I really enjoyed the Sandler show. But there have been some people that have said to me, I was kind of disappointed in it. I was hoping I'd see some more stuff I was familiar with. I thought he'd do, the medium pace song or something like that.
That familiarity is interesting, right? Because comics, when you go to a comedy show, I think the point is not to repeat bits but you have these things in your head, like when you go to a rock concert or a country concert or whatever, you're like, just play the hits. You went to Eric Church and he played his entire new album. Well, if you don't know the songs, you're like, what am I singing along to? If it takes you 2 hours to get to Talladega, well, I didn't want to wait so long. I don't know Talladega. It's a Eric Church song.
I know. And the thing I remember about Talladega is I remember one time Williams telling me, oh, man, I'm really excited about seeing Eric Church. And I was like, what songs does he sing? He's like, oh, he's got one called Talladega. And I said, let me guess. On a dirt road.
Pretty close.
With a pretty girl. And
in a truck.
Can.
In the truck.
In America.
Driving a Chevy.
And he said,
Talladega.
He said, actually, dude, you're pretty close. That's kind of how the song goes. Like, oh, wonder how I knew.
But I mean, Nate Bargatze's getting ready to go. He's going on to. He's coming to the Casey Center. The concert he did on the Netflix special is not going to be the same concert that he does. I mean, because they go do new material.
Listen, and I love Sandler because I kind of pick on Courtney for the whole country music pandering thing, right? Well, then Adam Sandler gets up there, and Adam Sandler's like, Des Moines, how you doing? It's great to see you, Des Moines. And then, again, it's a comedy show. He goes, man, I think about Des Moines all the time. I lay in bed at night, and I think, I wonder what they're doing in Des Moines. Whenever I'm in a big city, I think, yeah, but this isn't Des Moines. It very obviously playing into the pandering thing, right? But what do people
go,
do?
Woo!
They
woo!
do.
Woo! Yeah, he loves Des Moines.
He loves us. It's like he's gonna say the same thing tomorrow in Dayton.
Hello, Dayton.
I lay in bed and I think
Dayton.
I wonder what they're doing in Dayton.
Why? What is that human reaction there? Because, Motley Crue will come out and go, Des Moines, it's great to be here. And everybody go, woo. Is it just because you said the name? And it's written on a piece of paper right in front of them of where they're at.
It's
because
the old Spinal Tap thing,
yes.
right?
It's actually just written down. Are people saying that Rob Schneider bombs because of political stuff or just because?
That could be. I didn't think of that. Very well could be. He didn't really get. Oh, he did talk about men playing in women's sports. He did. Yeah, he did talk about that. So maybe that was enough for people to go, oh, I don't like him now. I thought he was really funny. I mean, again, topical stuff, things that were specific for Des Moines. He's not going to do the Caitlin Clark bits when they're in Dayton.
Yeah.
Maybe in Dayton because they're close to Indiana. But he did some stuff that was very much Des Moines specific and written for that night, and I enjoyed that because it was funny stuff. It wasn't, I'm just going to mention Des Moines. And again, Sandler did it in that funny pandering way. I didn't get the Rob Schneider stuff as, well, I'm going to do the Caitlin Clark bits because I'm here in Des Moines. It's going to play here, and I've got some Caitlin Clark material, so let's do that. I don't know. I enjoyed him.
I actually like that when a comic can do that. And they don't do their whole set like that. But if you go out to the Funny Bone, if you do, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 minutes and have some jokes, it's like, oh, you took the time to prepare for the show, but also get to know a little bit and write some funny stuff about it. That's not easy for comics who it's all about timing. It's all about, and you don't know how those jokes are going to play.
Yeah. And now if you're, it's funny because if you're like, I've been lucky enough to be around a lot of comedians that launched their careers, right? And so I got to see the kind of behind the scenes of joke writing and preparing a 90-minute set and all that stuff. And there are a lot of plug and play things that are local. You can always make fun of the neighboring town. Now, you can always have a joke and then slide in, hey, at least we're not from Buckley Town, right? And everybody in the crowd, and they point at one guy, he's from Buckley Town, oh my God. And the guy's like, yeah, he's right about Buckley Town. Well, you just threw in some town, blank town name is how it's written on the set list.
Well, I'm glad you had fun, and we do want to thank Choice Creative for giving the sweet tickets to Tommy and was it his wife that was with him?
His
and
wife, Brooke.
So
we had a good time, had a fun Saturday, had an interesting Sunday.
Oh yes, you went fishing. You took the old. You wanted to show the old man the fishing hole.
Yeah,
the sketchy fishing hole.
So the sketchy fishing hole was one that the old man used to go to, okay, about 30, 40 years ago. He and his buddies used to go fishing down there.
Wasn't sketchy then, though, right?
It wasn't sketchy then. No. It was totally legit then. Dude, this is a fun one. This is an adventure. So I and Mike says, why is it sketchy? Pay attention. So here's what happened, Mike. I had to drop the daughter off for dance, and it's in the vicinity. And so I said, hey, I told Dad at church, and he's like, I want to go see that place. It's been a long time since I've been down in that area. Maybe someday you could just take me down there. Dad doesn't get around very well right now. So he didn't really want to fish necessarily. He just wanted to go down and kind of check it out. And there's a way to get there, but there's also, you got to do some off-roading if you're going to do some real fishing, okay? So I told him, I said, hey, I'm going to pick you up in the Ford Ranger so we can do the off-roading stuff. Well, then as I went to go leave for dance with Audrey, I'm thinking, you know what? Dad doesn't want to do the off-roading thing. He doesn't want to ride around that old beat-up Ford Ranger. We'll take the Jeep, and that way we can just stay on the flat, open area stuff for him. So I go and I drop off Audrey. I pick up Dad in the Jeep. We go down and we find the fishing hole. And there's this sketchy old bridge you got to cross a creek to get into, and all this. There's some stuff you got to do to get to this place that's hidden. So we get back in there and cruise around. There's a couple kids fishing. They're about 25-year-olds. I see these three guys fishing. They're about 25. They had their cars back there, and we're cruising around. Dad's showing me some spots. Oh yeah, we used to catch crappie here. I've caught. We caught bass here. We caught perch, and he's giving me all the different species. We caught catfish here. I remember this story, and he's even saying, he's like, man, Ross, this is fun. I'm glad we came down here and checked this out. This is bringing back a lot of old memories. I'm like, all right, Dad, well, Audrey's about ready to be done with dance. We got to get out of here. We go back to the bridge, and in the 25 minutes I had been there, they had come and barricaded the bridge.
Is it like the owners of the land or the city, or who do you think it was?
I think it was somebody. So in order to get there, you got to go down this dirt path that obviously belongs to somebody. I want to take that back. It's a street. It doesn't, that dirt path does not belong to anybody. I want to be clear about that. It's not like I'm trespassing. There's no trespassing signs, nothing like that. And I even had checked with the person that I thought was in charge, and I do believe is in charge, and he gave me permission to do this. Here's what I think happened. I think one of the people that lives on that road is sick of people going up and down the road to access the pond. And that's my guess. Travis, they had moved concrete barriers. And I mean, we're talking 6 foot long, 3 foot tall concrete barriers. They're thousands of pounds.
So like the ones you see on the interstate when they did the barricades. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly like that.
A Jersey barrier, you know.
Yeah, 2 of them are blocking the bridge, and we're stuck inside. So I first, and by the way, there's a car on the other side. There's this young lady. She's sitting on the other side of the bridge looking at me, and I'm looking at her. So I got out and I walked over, and she's like, "Hey, my husband and my son are in there." She thought I was the owner, going to be mad at her. So right away, she rolls down her window. She's like, "Listen, I'm sorry. I was just coming back here. I was told to come back here." I said, "You're not in trouble. I'm not mad at you.
And I'm trying to get out.
I'm trapped inside. You're trapped outside." She's like, "Well," I said, "I know where your husband is. I saw him fishing. I'm going to go get him, and we'll try to assess the situation." Well, long story short, I got those boys. We came up. We figured out what was going on. We were able to clear a different path. My dad and I had to do about 1.5 miles of off-roading, and we were able to find our way out. But I had to call Audrey's mom and say, "Hey, need you to go get Audrey because I'm trapped with Dad." So it was a fun adventure. It really was. And even last night I went and picked Dad up for dinner, and the first thing he said when we got in the car was, "Eli, did your dad tell you about the adventure we were on today?"
What I thought was, but you're missing the kicker of the story. Because you got a phone call.
I love people. I love people. So that was at about 2:30. So I pulled into this place at 2:15. I went to go pull out at 2:45. So right around within 15 minutes at 2:30 was when those concrete barriers got placed, right? And I'm sitting at dinner at about 7 o'clock, and one of my fishing buddies sends me a picture, and the concrete barriers had already been moved.
Like pushed to the side?
Yep.
You think an East Sider just would go get the Bobcat?
Who said it was on the East Side?
Because you picked up your dad, and you have this. Nobody said it was on the East Side. I'm assuming it's on the East Side for a couple of reasons. It's sketchy.
What the hell is that supposed to mean?
It's a homeless encampment.
South Side's not sketchy? North Side's not sketchy?
Is it on the East Side?
515-517-2303.
So we'll take that as a yes. Somebody go get a lull. We need a lull, and we need these things moved.
Somebody showed up with enough equipment to get her done. I don't know how.
Because you couldn't push those.
No, we tried. We tried. There was like a huge one and then a half one. And me and these other 4 boys, and these were young kids that were sturdy. We tried. Couldn't budge the little one.
Couldn't you grabbed all the homeless people and said, "Hey, earn your night's sleep. Get over here"?
I don't think so. I don't think there's enough protein there to move.
They might have been super powered up, though, from meth, maybe.
So anyway, that was a fun day. That was made for a fun Sunday, and made for a fun story, that's for sure.
You know what you could have, going off-road, you could have used Anjanette's Defender that she got at Willis Automotive last week.
So did she take the Defender down?
She took the Defender down to Mississippi. Yeah.
Did she tell you that? I mean, you said you haven't really spoke to her, but even with the "Hey, how's the car?"
Yeah, well, I did talk to her on Saturday as she was driving over to Muscatine. I said, "Is everything riding okay?" She goes, "Oh, it's just fine." She goes, "I'm very comfortable." I said, "That's good. That's what I like to hear." So yeah, she took the Defender, went on the first major road trip. And, of course, if you're looking for a new vehicle, the Rush Radio Show powered by Willis Automotive. And we just don't talk about it because they sponsor us. We now talk about it because we are purchasers and users of Willis Automotive. Ross gets his car serviced there. I have now purchased my first car from Willis Automotive. And Jason is a great dude. He's got lots of great salespeople. If you're looking for a used car or a new car, go see my buddy Ryan Gilmore over at Willis Automotive. He's been there 12 years. And I think when a salesperson is at a car dealership for 12 years, that tells you a lot about the dealership. Tells you a lot about the dealership. And I asked Ryan, I go, why have you stayed here 12 years? He goes, this is a family place. A lot of car dealerships are corporate. But he goes, you know what? They treat you like family. Of course, you got to sell cars, but at the end of the day, when they treat you right, treat you with respect, that says a lot when employees stick around. It tells a lot about the way they take care of their cars as well. So go to Willis Automotive when you're looking for a brand new vehicle or a used one. And mine was used, a couple years old, but it was a certified car, so I got an extra year. I didn't know this about the certified cars. You know how you always see, hey, the certified this? Did you know, Ross, when you buy a certified car, you get an extra year of warranty with unlimited miles on that powertrain? I didn't know. I always wondered what a certified car was. I'm like, okay, it's certified. I go, what does that mean? They're like, well, we're going to give you another year of warranty on the powertrain and unlimited miles. I'm like, oh, that's great. That's great. I'll take that. So, again, Willis Automotive.
Every now and again, I like these things that give you a little glimpse into how stupid I really am.
Okay.
I don't think I could define powertrain.
Basically, your transmission and your engine.
Okay. All right.
Does that help?
I mean, I can point to the I know where the engine is. In most cars. In most cars, I know where the engine is.
Yeah, if you got yourself a Tesla, you'd be like, where's the engine at? Oh, it's that big battery underneath.
And the transmission's the thing that, I know how to put gas in it and drive it.
I actually asked Ryan Gilmore, I go, we're getting the car, and I go, how do I put gas in this thing? And they look at me like I'm stupid. Well, it's just right on the
question.
But because there are some cars, I know. And my wife looks at it. She goes, "See the arrow on the gas thing?" I go, "That's not what I meant. I didn't know if there was a special way to undo the gas cap or anything like that." Because
you don't want to be Chevy Chase in Vacation.
No,
remember that when he pulls
the
the family truckster, the family roadster up, and he rips the license plate off.
Yeah, I'm just like, okay, I just want to know how this all works. And they both look at me like I'm stupid. And I'm like, I'm not being stupid. I'm just covering my bases because I don't want to go fill up with gas and go, oh, crap, we forgot to ask how to open the gas cap.
Yeah.
Now, luckily, it's just push and it pops out. But some have a secret little thing on the inside where you got to push. I didn't know.
Now, Trav, Johnny asks important questions here.
Okay.
Can you change a tire? Can you change the oil?
I can change the tire.
Yes.
I've got a full-size tire on the back. I know where the jack is. It's got a lock nut because you need that because I will not change the oil. And I learned this. I was kind of surprised. You change the oil in the Defender every 20,000 miles.
What?
Yes. Every 20,000 miles.
What?
Don't ask me. It came up, they're going through all the rundown, and it's every 20,000 mile oil change. I go, my first question is when they told me, I go, how much is that going to cost me? Because you're like, every 20,000 miles, I've always been told 3 or if you go 3 to 5.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, this is a full synthetic. This is what it is.
Holy cow.
Now, they did say, hey, that's pushing it. But that's recommended by the company.
Wow,
they said they would go about 15,000. I'm like, okay, but then again, how much is this going to cost me? Because you always got to think about the maintenance. They said full synthetic for this is probably about 130, 140.
Travis is the guy that buys the boat and bitches about the price of gas.
Yes, I am. It's exactly what I'm doing. It's exactly what I'm doing. 515-517-2303. We got an hour in the books. We got an hour to go. Thanks for hanging out with us on the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
The Rush Radio is now on the free TuneIn app, allowing you to enjoy the show on Apple products and Android Auto. Download the free TuneIn app and search The Rush Radio to take Travis and Ross wherever you go.
You've got enough on your plate, so when it's time to reset, grab a Fresca. Bold citrus, zero sugar, zero caffeine. Just clean, crisp refreshment that never goes out of style, whether it's post-work, post-gym, or just a break from the noise. Fresca's got your back. Pick up a Fresca at your local retailer today.
Your house wasn't built for bats, birds, or raccoons, but try telling them that. At Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions, we've been helping Iowans take back their homes for over 20 years. We use cost-effective, eco-friendly methods to solve wildlife and pest problems the right way. Whether it's bats in your attic, birds in the vents, raccoons in your chimney, or moles in your yard, we have long-term solutions. Call Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions today at 515-218-3400, and let's make sure your home doesn't become their home.
Trick or treat, candy to eat, get your car some brand new feet. Until the end of October, you can buy 3 tires and get 1 for $1. And we're also still doing our $25 off battery install. Scary good deals. All those treats, and you don't even need to show up with a joke. Give us a call or head online to willisinfinity.com.
After Hawkeye football games this fall, Travis and Ross are right where they belong, with you taking your calls and giving unfiltered feedback. Right after Hawkeye football games, it's the Black and Gold Rush on the rushradio.com, the TuneIn app, and on YouTube.
A fuel choice that even rivals can agree on? Now that's worth the hype. Pump it up with unleaded 88.
The largest selection of German beer in the world? You'll find it at the Hessen House. From Doppelbocks to Oktoberfest to Hefeweizens and Dunkels, there's no passport needed for the deliciously different beer and food at the Hessen House. So grab your friends and make it a fun night out. The Hessen House, 4th and Court, Des Moines.
You know, Brian, at Central City, we really do have the best selection around.
I know, high quality stuff you can't find anywhere else.
Whistle Pig Plantation Rum.
Yeah, and over 150 of the best scotches on earth.
And a ton of bitters, mixers, and more.
You know what we are? High class.
Definitely high class, yeah.
Make way for the natty.
Okay, maybe medium class.
Central City Liquors, home of the 10% cash coupon.
And the Wooden Nickel program.
Back like a rash you thought was gone. Travis and Ross aren't contagious, but they are addictive. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
All right, welcome to hour number 2 of the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. It is a Monday, and it's October 6th. If you're listening on the audio stream at therushradio.com or on the Rush Radio Android app, thank you so much for tuning us in this morning. We are here each and every day from 6 o'clock until 8 o'clock. And, of course, if you go to therushradio.com or even go to the Rush Radio Android app or the TuneIn app, that show repeats itself all day long, 24/7. If you're watching on YouTube today, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, give this video a like, start leaving your comments in the comment section, and follow us on our social media channels. I'm Travis Justice. He is Ross Peterson.
That Mark Sanchez story was a wild ride, wasn't it?
Well, because it's you have this preconceived notion like Mark Sanchez stabbed in Indianapolis. And you're like, dude, man, somebody just wrong place, wrong time.
Mark Sanchez and stabbed him. Wow.
Yeah, wow. And then all of a sudden, less than 24 hours later, Mark Sanchez arrested. You're like, what just happened here? What just happened here? And Mark Sanchez is in his late 30s. There's video evidence of him attacking a 69-year-old man who, it appears that Mark Sanchez might have been inebriated and got into an altercation with, a truck driver.
Did you see the story where Basically, the trucker goes and gets the used oil from a restaurant. He's backed up, and he's backed up to this spot, and apparently Sanchez comes over drunk and says, "Hey, man, you can't park there." This is like, "Hey, I'm doing my job." No. He tries to get into the cab of the truck. Tells the guy, "Not only can you not park there, I'm going to move it for you." Tries to tell him, "The manager of the hotel told me you're not supposed to be here." What kind of douche is Mark Sanchez, dude? What kind of entitled prick is this guy?
Now, I'm going to ask you a question. We are assuming this is drunk Mark Sanchez. Alcohol does some weird things to people. Do you think he's a different guy drunk than he is sober? And the crazy thing is, when he woke up in the hospital, he was in critical condition, moved on to stable condition, told the police officers, "I don't remember a thing."
Yeah, of course he doesn't.
Or is that your out? Well, let us refresh your memory. Here's some video. We're going to refresh your memories. The truck driver pepper sprayed him. He still came after him, and then through self-defense, stabbed him.
Twice in the chest.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, Mark Sanchez is lucky to be alive. I mean, you get stabbed in the chest, you're lucky to be alive.
Let's go back, and it's the first thing you said. Is he a different guy drunk than he is sober? No. That's a crappy excuse for somebody that's an asshole. That's a crappy excuse.
And that's for anybody, right? I mean, because everybody's like, "Oh, the brown alcohol makes me a different person."
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. You're an asshole, and you control it. The bottom line, you're an asshole. We all are. We all are. And you control it. And you've got this restraint to go up. How many times have you pulled into a place and thought, "I'm not sure that guy's supposed to be parked there"? A lot. How many times do you go confront the guy? Never. Why? Because you're not drunk. Because you've got the control of that asshole inside of you to go, not my circus. This screams to me entitled prick. I don't care that you were drunk. Because we've all have friends that are like this. We all have friends that when they're drunk, you go, "Oh, man, he's getting drunk." What? And then the people that don't know go, "What's that mean?" You go, "The asshole's coming out. The asshole's coming out. We're either going to have to be fighting somebody or explaining our way out of this room here in a little while. Watch." We all have friends like that. And then over time, you go, "I don't want to be around that person when they're acting that way." I'm with Tyler. Drunk is not an excuse when you are an adult. When you're 16, 17, and you do something dumb, you go, "Man, I didn't know how to handle myself." Yeah, so here's the deal, kid. You're an asshole, like all of us. And when you're sober, you've got the tools in your toolbox to control it. And as soon as you get drunk, you start handing those tools out to other people. And you don't have them anymore, and now you just the asshole comes out. So don't do that. And most people, and I guarantee you, Mark Sanchez, this isn't the first time that Mark Sanchez has demonstrated behavior like this. Guaranteed. He's just gotten away with it. Because he's Mark Sanchez. You're the USC starting quarterback? You
started for the Jets? You're on a national broadcast?
You're the butt fumble guy? Oh, my God. That's so I like when the story came, I did the exact same thing you did, Trav. I saw it and I was like, man, some guy went nuts, saw Mark Sanchez and thought, "Oh, you're that guy." And again, I don't know enough about Mark Sanchez to know why somebody would hate him enough to go out and stab him. But my first instinct was, holy cow, somebody Monica Sellis'd him, just came up to him and started stabbing on him. You find out, no, not at all. No, not at all.
Guy defended himself.
Guy was totally in the right to do this. Guy was doing his job. And some dude shows up and says, "Hey, can't be here. I'm going to go ahead and move your truck for you."
I'm starting to wonder about Indianapolis, though. I've only been to Indy once. But you have an oil truck driver. That's what he was, right? He was picking up the used oil.
Yep.
He had pepper spray and he had a knife, right? I mean, because he pepper sprayed him first, and Sanchez continued to come after him. Then he stabs him. I'm like, okay, does this happen to you a lot? Like, I mean, when you're picking up oil late?
Ray Q. Ray is one of our listeners, is a trucker. Ray, are you armed? And if I would about guarantee you the answer is yes.
Well, I didn't know this till for a long time. My dad drove truck, right? I did not know that my dad, for the longest time, kept a handgun in his truck. Now, back in the day, you're hauling swinging meat, right? I mean, and you know how much money is... Oh, because they don't. Well, you don't do swinging meat anymore. You don't put.
Well, some of us do,
but yeah, Ross is swinging some meat. But I didn't know, and I remember I was going on a trip. I was probably in my teens, and I looked down. And there's a gun down in the holster. I'm like, I had no idea. My dad. I didn't know there were dangers to driving a truck like that, right? Where people would basically pirate your trailer and try to take it over. I mean, I never thought of that.
As long as I've been around truckers, and I saw Tyler says you can't have guns in the cab. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah. My dad had a gun in the cab.
Can't drive over 6 hours at a time either. And Ray said when I was an over-the-road trucker, I was carrying. I've never known a trucker that didn't. Dude, truck stops in the middle of the night? I mean, those guys they go to extremes to protect themselves because you're sleeping in that cab, man. You're literally a sitting duck. If somebody wants to come and pick you apart and pick apart your stuff, and you better be able to defend yourself because there's nobody else. So most truckers I know, most tow truck operators I know, dude, I think I've been around some concrete truck drivers that were packing. So, yeah, that doesn't surprise me a bit that the trucker had bear spray and a knife. Mark Sanchez is lucky he didn't have a gun on him.
Do you think Mark Sanchez has been charged with 3 misdemeanors? I think the fine's like $300. I mean, misdemeanors is going to be basically, he won't do any jail time.
Yeah.
He'll pay some fines. But do you think he keeps his job?
Boy, that's a good question. I mean, I want to say, unfortunately, yes.
Be interesting.
What's the playbook, Travis? You and I both know this. What's the playbook?
Playbook is apologize, rehab, come back, and
thank God for His grace, and I want to thank my family for sticking by my side.
Tyler said I thought he was already let go. Let me see if
it probably is. Again, he won't be serving jail time. I mean, he's going to get misdemeanors and fines. You're right. So he's probably already out. Wouldn't surprise me a bit if that's the case. And again, I don't know that any of this is jailable offense. I think he's the 3 he got charged with. But that's not that might happen. I don't know. What we can speculate on is, will he keep his job?
The Google machine says he has not been fired as of yet.
Again, and he'll probably be suspended with pay. They'll make a statement about how they're going to stand behind their friend in this troubling time. This isn't Mark Sanchez, and we are just as worried about our friend as everybody else. So, again, here's the playbook. Step number 1, go dark. Don't say anything. Shut up for a period of time. Then come back. Go ahead.
Did you see the pictures of the victim?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
All beat up.
Oh,
at 69.
yeah.
I mean, he's an old man that he beat the crap out of.
Wow.
Yeah, he should. I mean, probably should go to jail for that, for the assault. Hey, how you doing?
Wow, I didn't know he was beat up that badly.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So, yeah, he got over on him pretty good, man, before the guy got his knife out and bear spray out and fought back.
What would be damning is if more stories come out from other cities like, oh, this is nothing new out of Mark Sanchez.
You know, and that's something, Trav, to keep in mind, because sometimes when these gates open up, more people show up and go, hey, by the way, maybe you should know this about Mark Sanchez.
He was taken to jail yesterday when he was released from the hospital. Probably going to bail out this morning once he goes, because judges usually aren't on duty on Sunday, so he'll probably get out today and then go right to rehab. And then thank God.
Judges don't like to come in on Saturdays, too.
I wouldn't know that. I've never been arrested. And I've never had to bail anybody out. I feel lucky that way. I've never had a friend ask me, hey, can you come get me out of jail? I haven't. Ross laughs. That's the laugh of, oh, I have. 515-517-2303. I didn't know if we were going to hear from this guy today or not because Iowa State lost over the weekend. We'll get to the Cyclones' loss to Cincinnati. Derek from New Sharon, welcome to the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive. What's going on, Derek?
Well, I ain't got much time today. I got to roll. First of all, it really showed up with our kicker, not just the field goals, but the field position we gave up because he can't kick it out of the end zone. How do we have two kickers out? Shoot them up, no pain, get in the game. Now we have no choice but to run the table, and it starts with beating the piss out of Deion. This whole weekend sucked. You know what the worst news of the weekend was, fellas?
What's that?
James Francis blowing the game to the worst team. I don't want that job open because I think that's one that Campbell might leave. Anyway, this whole weekend sucked. Iowa State sucked. My Cubs sucked. My old lady didn't. What a weekend, fellas.
Thanks,
good way
Derek.
to end it. Thanks, Derek.
Thanks for getting us started on a Monday, buddy. Is Penn State a better job than Iowa State? There's right the on the surface. Boy, those are two totally different national brands, aren't they? Is Penn State an easier place to win than Iowa State?
Well, hold on.
I think Matt Campbell has Iowa State in a position that is an enviable position. That now, obviously, losing this weekend, that sucks, and you've got an uphill climb to get back to where this squad, I think, should be and can be and maybe will be. But on a man, this is hard. I'm sure the money is crazy different. But Iowa State is
now brand-wise, it's a better job.
Totally.
No
brand-wise,
it's
it's night and day, right?
Now, the ability to win a national title and get to the college football playoff might be even at this point.
That's what I'm kind of getting at. Like, if I'm Matt Campbell, I'm looking around going, wait a minute. I really want to get to the college football playoff. I really want to play against. If you want to win a national title, you have a better shot of doing that at Penn State.
Yeah, getting to the playoff might be the same. Now, because Penn State is always going to be, it's not the biggest brand in the Big Ten. Not even close. Ohio State and Michigan are the two biggest brands in the Big Ten.
Without a doubt. And now you've got Oregon and some other players that are going to be in there to fight for it. Dusty nails it. It's easier to win the Big 12 at Iowa State than Penn State. That's it.
I actually brought this up when I was talking to Dr. Rob yesterday. I said, because he goes, who would they get? And my first name was Matt Campbell. And he goes, oh, I never thought of that.
As soon as Derek said that, I had that same feeling of like, oh.
Yeah, because you can only wait for Ohio State for so long. You could only...
You're going to get one time in your life.
Yes.
In your coaching career, you're going to get one time where that job's open and you're the big name and you can do that. And, dude, that...
And by the way, we're not politicking for Matt Campbell to go anywhere. We want him to stay at Iowa State as long as possible. The good news is when your coach's name comes up in conversation for another job, you've got the right coach. If your coach isn't being pursued, you may not have the right coach.
If I'm Jamie Pollard, though, I'm just calling him and being like, hey, man, remember, you can win here. You can win here. And by the way, when you lose a couple of games, we aren't going to try to fire you. We might have a fan that you got to fight, but you got to fight one fan. Every 2 losses, you have to fight one fan. That's all we're going to ask of you.
Now, the difference would be resources and money, right?
Oh,
I mean,
it's not close.
It's not close. It's something to ponder. Now, James Franklin's not gone yet. And Matt Campbell and Iowa State just lost to Cincinnati, which, 6 games down the road may not look like that bad of a loss.
But right now, if that's
it
a good
stings.
point. And Penn State fans would freak out. If you fired James Franklin, you're like, we just got the guy who lost to Cincinnati. That would be a bad look.
Yes.
All right.
But, let's talk about Iowa State.
Matt Campbell not going anywhere. Yeah.
Last week we were, I think it was last Tuesday, we said, hey, is Iowa State being disrespected? And and the fact that they'd only gone up or didn't move in the Associated Press poll, they were 14th. We're like, are they not getting the respect? We actually used Penn State as the example because you had commented on Brett Bloom's tweet as, what exactly has Penn State done to deserve to still be a top 10 team when Iowa State is still undefeated and doesn't make a move in the poll? And then you go out in the first half. I'll give them credit for the second half because their defense adjusted. Cincinnati only scored once. But you buried yourself too big of a hole in the first half. You gave up 31 points in the first half. And it was just, you came back. Your quarterback is as tough as nails. But at the end of the day, it's still a loss. And you fall all the way to number 22 now in the Associated Press poll. Again, that poll is just kind of a barometer. The only poll that matters is the college football playoff poll. And Iowa State's not out of it yet. A lot of football to play.
The poll, the poll is what it is. And I said when they lost on Saturday when we were doing the show, I said they're going to be in that 20 to 25 range. And really, like you say, it doesn't matter because you can still win your way back to where you want to be with this team. Travis, you're nailing it, dude. The first half, the defense loses that game for you in the first half. You give up 31 points, and the offense is doing what they can. Scoring there at the end of the first half was huge. I even thought that's the momentum thing right there. That's enough. They've got Rocco. They're going to come back. They're going to win this game in the second half. And quite frankly, the defense, as you said, did enough in the second half. They made those adjustments, did enough in the second half to win that football game, and it was the offense that couldn't get it going. And some more injuries, dude. The injuries just piled up. You lose another defensive back. Carson Hansen isn't available for you in the second half of that game. So Abu's got to do most of the carrying. And
I thought Simon did a good job, too.
Again, he's a really good running back, but that just shows how it's nice to have that change of pace and those fresh legs that can come in and help the team get down the field. Rocco, talk about tough as nails, dude. That hit he took is an alarm. You even told us on Black and Gold Rush, you were on the plane and you got hit and you're like, I think he's dead.
I did. And Owen looks at me, the guy next to me. I'm like, because he got face masked, right? He got his head turned around. That was bad enough. And then you come in helmet on helmet, and he just leveled him, and you're like, oh, my God, he's dead. He's dead.
He went back to the little black tent, and he walked in there, and I thought, when he comes out, he's going to the locker room. And then he comes out, and he's jogging back out onto the field. And
then he's like, put me on, coach.
He's had some amazing throws. I think you could arguably say some of his best throws happened after that big hit, which just plays to that thing of this guy is a gamer, man. Rocco Beck's the real deal, and that was fun to see that part of it.
The surprising thing to me was the first half, and the defense, it wasn't like it was weird plays or anything. They were getting blown up. I mean, we're absolutely, and we're talking gaping holes and defensive linemen and even linebackers getting put right on their ass. And you're like, you are getting blown up. And everything that Cincinnati did, they couldn't go wrong. Now, credit them for making the adjustments in the second half. Cincinnati did not even come close to having the success they had, but the hole was too deep, just too deep. And being an 11 o'clock game, ESPN2, that's probably maybe a lot of people looking at Iowa State for the first time going, oh, we got a pretty good game here. 4-0 against against 3-1.
Yeah, against a good Cincinnati team. And Travis, you had said that quarterback for Cincinnati. I'm blanking on his name. I'm sorry. Sorsby. I almost said Sosby. Sorsby was very good. He was a talented kid, man.
Yeah.
But tough. That game also, I think there was an important thing that happened in that game, and that was when Matt Campbell got that penalty. And I don't remember exactly if it was unsportsmanlike. It wasn't unsportsmanlike. What personal foul? He got the penalty for being mean to the officials.
It's the equivalent of a technical foul in basketball. I think it's the best way to put it. Let's just say he got a technical foul.
Yeah.
Let's just call it a technical foul.
15 yards, coach is being mean to us. But man, after that penalty, and I saw John Schaefer post this on Twitter, and I think he's exactly right. It was tactical. That was one of those technical fouls that a coach gets in a basketball game because his team's not getting the calls. Because, dude, the flags came flying after that. And over and over and over, those penalties were essentially Cincinnati doesn't know the rules. Cincinnati's lining up in the wrong position. Cincinnati's sending guys, the offensive linemen, 5 yards downfield to block guys. I haven't heard. I didn't see Matt Campbell's post-game press conference, and maybe he'll today when he chats, or tomorrow when he chats, somebody will ask him about that. I'm guessing that's what that was him seeing that stuff, his coaching staff seeing that stuff, and saying to the officials, "Are we playing by the rules?"
And it's measured, right? And we always, and because you don't know how, we always say, hey, if you're emotional, your team will respond the way your coaches respond. But that's if it's all the time. And nothing against Paul Rhodes, and I don't bring
good call.
But Matt Campbell's pretty reserved. He's passionate on the side. You see the passion. But he blew up at the appropriate time. If you're blowing up all the time, that brings the emotion up and down to the team. When the team sees it, go, coach is mad here. We not only are they mad at the officials, but we got to kind of take our game to a different level too. That's where it's measured. If you're doing it all the time, like Bo Pelini,
like Fran McCaffrey.
Yeah, or like Fran McCaffrey, it doesn't have an effect.
It loses it. It gets to the point where you roll your eyes. You stand there staring at the officials. It's like, Jesus, stop. Matt Campbell has done that. It was funny when as he did it, they're like, the announcer's like, you never see Matt Campbell get angry. I'm like, have you ever watched an Iowa State football game? He doesn't get that fired up. But he's on the verge of that.
Yeah.
That intensity's burning right at the surface, man.
It's measured. It's tactical.
It seemed like it was on Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah, and by the way, it doesn't take many times of doing that where we go, oh, you're a hothead. If he does that again next weekend, we're going to go, what's going on with Matt Campbell? 2 weeks in a row, he's lost his cool and cost his team yards. He does it once, and you get a bunch of calls after it, and you go, yeah, fighting for his guy, doing the right thing. It doesn't take long before it becomes a pattern. But I did think that was that was like a moment for me where I was watching that game go, because, dude, it was unreal. There were 21 penalties in that game. Isn't that what we came up with, Travis?
Yeah, Cincinnati had over 100 yards of penalty yards. They had targeting.
Crucial. They had huge plays up, holding, huge plays out. You had an offensive lineman that, there was one of those where the offensive lineman missed a block. Did you see that? And he stumbled forward 5 yards. They had the block below the waist. They had, lining up wrong on special teams. There were several different things where it was just like, hey, the details are wrong with Cincinnati.
Do you think it's details, or say, hey, get away with it until you can get away with it? Or until they tell you to stop?
That could be.
Until they call it, let's just push the boundaries. 515-517-2303. Iowa State has Colorado next. Colorado lost over the weekend, and some bad news for Deion Sanders. I know people like to hate Deion, but we'll talk about what he's facing when we come back on the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
I'm loving these wooden nickels, Brian.
Yeah, I suppose everyone is catching on.
Just spend $20 to get a wooden nickel.
It's 25.
Collect 10 and add up the savings on your next purchase.
Some of these are worth $5. That could be huge.
I know, right? That's why you have to spend $20.
It's 25.
Collect 10. It's like money back to you.
Spend 20, you get another wooden nickel.
It's 25.
Collect 10 and add up the savings. It's huge.
Central City Liquors, home of the 10% cash coupon.
And the wooden nickel program.
It's huge.
This is Darcy at Willis Chevrolet. When's the last time that you got new tires? From now till the end of November, we are offering buy 3 tires, get 1 for $1. Our extreme savings. Also, if you sign up for a GM credit card, you can get another $250 off the price of the 4 tires. So it's a win-win. Give us a call today, and we can price you a set of 4, or visit us online to set up an appointment at willischevy.com.
After Hawkeye football games this fall, Travis and Ross are right where they belong, with you taking your calls and giving unfiltered feedback. Right after Hawkeye football games, it's the Black and Gold Rush on the rushradio.com, the TuneIn app, and on YouTube.
Missing a quality home-cooked meal? You know, the kind Mom used to make? Lucky for you, we found her recipe book. Welcome to the High Life. Welcome to the Champagne of Bars.
Every business has priorities, and Priority One Heating and Cooling is no different. As a service provider, we prioritize quality air conditioners and furnaces that will keep your home at your comfort level year-round. As a small business, we prioritize doing things the right way and treating people fairly. As a truly local business, we prioritize our community. As a veteran-owned business, we prioritize duty and commitment. For big business service with local value, trust your home to the place where you are always Priority One.
Hi, I'm Bradley Ollinger here at Willis Nissan. Now until October, we are offering buy 3 tires, get the 4th for $1. Take advantage of this deal right now before winter. Go online today at willisnissan.com to schedule your tire placement today, and we'll see you on the service drive.
Rush, strong opinions, weak filters, and just enough sense to stay on the air. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
Of course, the Iowa Lottery studios are where we do the Black and Gold Rush. The Iowa Lottery is where you can play in all 99 counties of the state of Iowa. They have retailers in all 99 counties. Find one near you. Over 2,400 Iowa Lottery retailers across the state, including gas stations, grocery stores, and more. The Iowa Lottery and the Iowa Lottery studios for the Black and Gold Rush. We mentioned Iowa State's getting ready to go to Colorado. Deion Sanders has been this. I feel sorry for him. And I know people are going to like, well, why do you feel sorry for Deion? I don't. You may not like his flamboyance, his confidence and stuff, but this dude has had health issues going back to Jackson State. And then this summer we found out that he was battling cancer. And now, Ross, he got done with the game this weekend where they lost and said he thinks he has blood clots back in his legs. And he goes, I'm hurting. Doesn't want to miss time with the team, but that's a scary situation when you're dealing with blood clots. And he's had blood clots before, had to deal with those. I think he's had a toe or 2 amputated.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
You know, just a scary, scary moment for Deion Sanders. You hate to see a guy go through something like that. I mean, winning and losing is one thing. Criticizing a guy for winning and losing, but a health scare like this is a lot.
You know, you and I are buddies with Sean Keeler. You cannot like Deion for a lot of reasons.
Yeah.
He's a human being dealing with cancer and all of this other stuff. I completely agree with everything you said there, Travis. I've kind of gone on all sides of the Deion thing. I found myself really rooting for Deion when I was a kid. I hated that arrogance. I always thought, man, just if you're better than everybody else, just be better than everybody else. You don't have to tell everybody that you're better than them after you're better than them. I don't like that arrogant, flamboyant thing. You know, like I find myself rooting for Deion, and then this weekend a commercial pops up. Have you seen the commercial during games of him and his bass boat?
Oh, I haven't seen the bass boat one. I've seen the Affleck
because
one.
I get all sorts of fishing stuff on my algorithm, and so maybe that's how this found me. But there's this commercial of him talking about the pull-up. The only thing that matters in bass fishing is who's got the best pull-up. And your pull-up is when your truck matches your boat, and your boat matches your trailer, and your rods match your boat. And he's like, I'll show up to a bass lake and just pull up and let everybody know I'm the best. I won't even catch any fish. I'll just do my pull-up. That's the stuff I hate. Those are the things I'm like, oh, my God, this materialistic douche.
Even though that's written for them, they're like, hey, let's do that.
It's a commercial,
yes.
right? Is it playing on the stereotype of Deion? Absolutely it is. And that's the thing that I go, I don't like that part of that. But, man, I'm not rooting for the guy to die of toe cancer. Like, I'm not rooting for him to beat Iowa State. I hope he loses on Saturday, and I hope he beats cancer.
Well, he says he's beat the blood clots are something different now. He's going back.
This was still the cancer stuff that he was dealing with.
Well, it may be a byproduct of it, right. But he's, when he says he's hurting, and I don't think he's the type of guy to complain. I mean, hell, when he's at Jackson State, when he had his toe amputated, he's riding around a little scooter, doing all that. But just the health issues that this guy has gone through is amazing and sad, and we hope that he is okay. Of course, Iowa State goes to Colorado this weekend. We'll hear from Matt Campbell tomorrow. We'll also hear from Kirk Ferentz tomorrow as we wait for an update on the quarterback situation at Iowa. And we heard it was cloudy last week with a chance of Hank Brown. That was from somebody in the chat. And it's also, Luke Fickell watch, Ross. And as Luke Fickell is on the hot seat at Wisconsin, the big question comes down to, I think that if they were to lose to Iowa, that he could be out of a job. But I have to backtrack on my comments a little bit.
Okay.
He is owed $25 million if they fire him.
We didn't even think about that. We hadn't even considered the buyout. He's still early in his tenure.
Yeah, and he was extended, I think, through 2031. He'd be owed 80% left of the remaining contract, which comes out to about $25 million, which would be it's not Jimbo Fisher buyout money at Texas A&M, but it would be one of the largest buyouts in sports history. $25 million.
The dreaded contract extension.
This is why I like the rollover contracts. You're just on a yearly rollover. It's a 5-year deal. Roll it over. You're still on a 5-year deal. I think
we should lock ourselves into a guy for the next 10 years with this incredible buyout structure. So that way, if he sucks, we're all screwed.
Abigail and I were talking about this with Lane Kiffin. I think in Mississippi, the longest contract you can have is under state law is 4 years. So Lane Kiffin can't go to Mississippi and say, I need a 10-year deal. They're like, state law doesn't allow that. We'll pay you, but you get 4 years, and we'll just add another year onto that contract every single year.
Well, we're going to find out, all right? I'm going to give you my prediction, and I'm going to go out on a limb on this one, okay? Here's my prediction. That $25 million is found. And here's my take on it. We're being lied to about the money. We're being lied to.
I think with some institutions. I think there are others who could not afford it.
I think you're okay. All right. I think that we're being lied to about the money. When Oklahoma State shows up with enough money to fire Mike Gundy and then shows up and says, by the way, we got a couple $100 million to throw into this machine. When Memphis shows up with $250 million and says, hey, take our money.
And let us join your league.
Let us join the team here. Take our $250 million. Memphis. Here's my take. Wisconsin shows up with the $25 million. They get a new head coach. They pay that coach a whole bunch of millions of dollars. And they announce that they've also found a couple $100 million to pump into the machine to help the next guy be successful.
And make probably more money than Luke Fickell makes.
And then they'll go out and say, but we're broke. You guys got to fund this thing. Send us more money. Send us more money, please. Right now, we can't afford what we've just done. They can afford it. They can afford it. Money's there. I think that the money's there. I think we're being lied to. I think that we're being scared. Got to send us more money, guys. We can't do this thing on our own. We're paying all the bills around here, guys. We need more of your money. They got the money. They'll find the money. They want to win. They'll find the money to fire Luke Fickell. They'll find the money to hire James Franklin as their new head coach.
And the selling point is this: if we don't fire him, if we don't pay the $25 million, what money do we stand to lose by having apathy, fans not buy season tickets, not have people in the stadium? Yeah. That will add up to $25 million in a real fast way.
Yep.
We cannot not afford to do this.
If your next coach isn't available, if the guy that they think is the right coach to lead Wisconsin isn't available, then you keep him around, and you say we can't afford the $25 million. If you guys would give us more money, we could afford the $25 million to fire him.
Is Wisconsin even a good job? I think it is.
I think it is. Yeah, I think it is. It takes some qualifying questions. Is it a good job in the Big Ten? Is it a good job nationally? I think there's an argument on both sides of both of those questions, Travis. Let's start in the Big Ten. Is it a good job in the Big Ten? I'd say yes, but I could be convinced no. You've won there. People have won there. You've had a couple of coaches that have found success in Wisconsin.
Bielema being one of them, Barry Alvarez being one of them, and really good in the Big Ten. Big Ten championships.
Nationally, can you compete on the national stage from Madison, Wisconsin?
We're contradicting ourselves because it's all about the people, right? I mean, you can win anywhere.
The right people. It's
the right
people,
people,
not the places. You're absolutely right, Trav. Absolutely. So they'll find the money because they don't have the right person there right now. So they'll find the money, and again, my cynical brain says, we're being lied to about the cash anyway. They've got it laying around. They want to win. They'll figure it out. They'll spend the money. Look at all these other institutions that have done exactly that.
Well, I mean, Nebraska and Scott Frost. I think they fired him after they lost to Georgia Southern, knowing that if they got like 2 more games in, the buyout went in half. But they said, we got to act now. And they went ahead and spent like $15 million on a buyout, even though it would have cut in half if they would have waited 2 more games.
All right, so let's change, because we kind of nosed around that thing of Campbell going to Penn State. And Penn State, that's a great job nationally, but man, that's a tough job in the Big Ten.
Isn't that funny how it works? It is.
Yeah. Wisconsin's way down the list when you look at that. Not way down, but they're down the list. They're not Penn State. So how good of a job is Wisconsin? You're in the Big Ten. You're going to have resources. Your expectations are pretty high. The expectations are that you're going to compete in the Big Ten. And that means competing with Ohio State. And that means competing with Oregon.
Ohio State. Michigan.
Yeah, right. All of them. You got all those dogs. Is Wisconsin a good job? Yeah, it is. You're going to get paid really well. You're going to have the resources to win. Yep, it's a good job.
But it takes the right people. And I do think there's a right style to play. I mean, Barry Alvarez went to Wisconsin and knew how to win at Wisconsin. I do believe there's
Ron Dane.
Yeah.
You get Melvin Gordon. You get Ron Dane. You get all these NFL running backs, and you feed them the rock, man. They have a couple Heisman trophies out of that.
Didn't Dane win the Heisman Trophy? Trying to think. I thought Ron Dane won the Heisman Trophy. But I think that's the only one. Melvin Gordon didn't win the Heisman Trophy. Did Ron Dane win the Heisman Trophy?
Ron Dane was the second Heisman winner, Wisconsin's second Heisman winner. Melvin Gordon was Rondane in 99 won the award. Melvin Gordon in 2014 was a finalist.
Was a final, but he didn't win it.
Monty Ball, Jonathan Taylor were also finalists. The only other winner that they've had was Alan Amici in 1954. So Rondane won it in 99, and the finalists they've had were Monty Ball in 2012, Melvin Gordon in 2014, and Jonathan Taylor in 2019. I mean, if you want good running backs.
Dusty says the curse of Paul Christ. You have a guy that's winning, probably had the right people, but maybe didn't understand. Then you have an athletic director going, well, I don't know if he's ahead of the game on NIL. Don't know if he's ahead of the game on transfer portal. Stuck in his ways. Then you have to ask yourself, do you want to win 8, 9, occasionally 10 games a year? Or do you want to roll the dice and say, Luke Fickell's our guy?
I love the internet. I love these names. Humphrey Bogart 45 says, yes, Wisconsin can win. They are one step above Iowa. And you guys always say Iowa should compete. That's all true. Well, they're one step above Iowa.
I wouldn't say that.
I think right now there's an argument to be made there. But to his point, as Hawkeye fans, what is our expectation? We talk about it all the time. Compete. Every few years, be in the college football playoff, and every year be dangerous enough to get there. That's what we expect. And by the way, beat Indiana is part of the expectation that we have. And that's a tough job now to do that last one. Humphrey Bogart has the right take on this. Put yourself in a Wisconsin fan's shoes for a minute. You do expect that team to be better than Iowa, like we expect them to be better than Wisconsin.
And that's why I think Iowa and Wisconsin are the same job.
Very close there. So if your expectation, again, put yourself in that boat. If your expectation is just like it is as a Hawkeye fan, that they're going to compete, that every few years you're going to be in the college football playoff, you're looking around right now saying, Luke Fickell ain't the guy.
Kelly says, one of the happiest days of my life is when Jim Leonard left Madison. Now, he filled in for Paul Christ when he got fired, and I think Kelly's saying happy because he might have been the right guy. That athletic director wanted to go in a different direction. That's the way I interpret that. Kelly, if I'm wrong, tell me, but I think you knew that Jim Leonard was going to be a pretty darn good head coach. We'll see what happens. Wisconsin lost at Michigan. Gave Michigan a better game than I thought. Now, Michigan manhandled them, just didn't put up the points. It was...
Yeah, I mean, again, I didn't go back and watch that, Trav. We kind of talked about this on Saturday night. I was flipping back and forth. When Iowa State was in commercial break or timeout or halftime, I was flipping over and watching Nebraska, Michigan. Dude, in my living room, the score of that game might as well have been 77-0. Every time I turned it over, and this is anecdotal evidence because I didn't get a big sample size. Every time I turned it over, Michigan was running it down their throat. It looked easy. They're crushing their line on defense. They're opening up huge gaps. It was it was comical. Every time I flipped it over, Michigan was in the open field. They're swinging the ball out wide. There's not a Wisconsin defender within 15 yards of the guy. And I'm like, holy cow. Michigan's killing Wisconsin. No, they didn't kill them. It was a closer score, but the optics of what I saw, again, watching it as a Hawkeye fan, I thought, I was going to beat this team. I was going to win the line of scrimmage battle on both sides against Wisconsin. Is that necessarily what's going to happen? No, not at Camp Randall, not against the Hawkeyes. It'll be a different game. It'll be a slobber knocker rock fight, Big Ten football game on Saturday. And by the way, Hawks are either coming in with a wounded quarterback who's not 100% or their backup quarterback. So I don't expect this to be one of those offensive explosions. Maybe we get an Ohio State type of matchup. Maybe you get that pick six and Weegan takes a punt or a kick back, and now all of a sudden the ball is rolling and it is 45-7. I don't think that happens. I think the Hawkeyes, feels to me more like a 10-6 Hawkeye win.
Somebody asked earlier, where is Jim Leonhard now? By the way, we're talking about Wisconsin. He is the assistant head coach and defensive pass game coordinator for the Denver Broncos.
Oh,
and
wow.
The Broncos went to Philly yesterday and knocked Philadelphia off the unbeaten ranks. Nice comeback in the fourth quarter.
Dude, did you see how the Cardinals lost yesterday?
Oh, dude. This is the second or third time we've seen somebody drop the ball before they cross the goal line.
Oh, I thought you were going to say so. This is now the third time, Travis, that Arizona has lost on a last-second field goal.
Yeah. But, I mean, it was a comedy of errors. I mean, they had a 20-point lead in the fourth quarter.
They were up 20. Dude, they're up 21-3 in the fourth quarter, and they got an interception with like 4 minutes to play. That essentially should have sealed the game. They had what you're talking about. For the third time this year, we saw a player with a touchdown walking into the end zone drop the ball outside of the end zone, and then it rolls through the back of the end zone and goes from being a touchdown to being a safety.
And by the way, in the National Football League or even college football, even high school, that's not forgivable. You don't get a pass on that. You hold on to the football till you are firmly in the end zone. You don't start the celebration and just flip the ball at the half-inch line.
If you're a gambler, Tyler writes in, feels like this game was fixed. Man, if you're a gambler.
I don't believe that. I think it's a meltdown.
I completely think it's a meltdown. Yeah.
But I understand the thought behind that, which, man, Kyler Murray's got to be like, what do you want me to do?
He played decent yesterday. It's not, but his comment after the game was, it's almost depressing. I'm going to see if I can pull it up here, Trav. His comment after the game is, okay, listen to this. I don't really know what to think about it. I don't even know. I really don't even know. That's, quote, how to lose a game 101, end quote. I don't know. It was crazy. Give us your analysis. And the quarterback gives you the 1,000-yard stare and says, I don't even know what just happened. We didn't win that game. I don't know how we didn't win that game. We were up 21-3 in the fourth freaking quarter. We're an NFL team. We got an interception. The interception they got, I want to go back and see what the score was, because they got an interception, Trav, with like 4 minutes to play.
And then is that the one they fumbled? It was just absolutely nuts. A comedy of errors for the Cardinals.
Kyler Murray was 23 of 31 for 220 yards.
Pretty good day.
He also ran for a touchdown and 25 yards and 4 carries. And Austin, thank you. Austin, they were up 9 when they get the interception with 4 minutes to play. You're up 2 scores in the NFL with the ball and 4 minutes to play. And for the third straight time, you lose on a last-second field goal.
Major League Baseball playoffs yesterday. Toronto beat the Yankees 13-7. Blue Jays now lead that series 2-0. Yankees don't have the pitching for this, do they?
They can't. If you're giving up 10, 12, 15 runs a game, like even yesterday, the offense shows up. You're batting the ball around the yard, not even in that game. 12-7, was that the final score? 12-7 yesterday.
13-7.
See, Jesus.
But Aaron Boone's confident that the Yankees can rebound back at home.
Of course he is. Frustrating schedule for tonight.
You've got the National League tonight. Brewers and Cubs.
Yeah, but you just see what the start time for that Brewers-Cubs game in Milwaukee? 8 o'clock.
Oh.
Am I seeing these as
Eastern, or are you seeing it as Central
times? 8:08, first pitch. Hopefully that's East Coast time.
You got the.
I don't think it is.
Oof. It's going to be late. Also yesterday, Seattle beat Detroit 3-2. That series is tied at a game each. Seattle's first home playoff win since 2001. So, man. I'll be watching that Cubs game, though. I got nothing else to do. I'm batching it.
Johnny says that's Central Time, 8 o'clock.
I can fall asleep to it. It'll be like, I'll wake up at like 3 in the morning, shut the TV off.
Yeah, but I'm like an 8:30 bed timer. I'm going to be like, it's going to be the second inning. Getting tired.
Do you lay in bed and watch TV? Because I do, and that's my downfall.
Mm-hmm.
Is Saturday night, I got back from Phoenix. We did the Black and Gold Rush. I went up and laid down at like 5 o'clock. I fell asleep. I looked at my thing. I went from 5:30 p.m. to like 3:30 in the morning. I got like 10 hours of sleep. It was beautiful. And I just stayed in bed for another couple hours. But it was like, oh, my wife's not here. It's awesome. I can just lay here.
8 o'clock gonna be late. 5:08 for Dodgers at Philly, Cubbies at the Brew Crew on TBS, True TV, and HBO Max.
Do you need to stream it like at all those places? Is that more benefit? I mean, I get it, but I'm going to go to TBS and just watch it on TBS or wherever YouTube TV shows me where the game is. I'm not going to HBO Max to watch a game.
But there are people that's their opportunity. You know, I think it's great to do that. I'd much rather have it be on multiple platforms than you've got to go to Peacock.
Yeah.
You have to download this thing. You have to get a subscription or steal somebody's password.
It's kind of like this show, right? You can find us on rushradio.com. You can find us on the TuneIn app, our own app,
Twitter,
Facebook, Twitter.
Right.
Yeah.
All those things. And what if somebody gives me, this is stupid because I don't use Twitter. Terrific. We have people that do use HBO Max. I have no problem with that. I like that they throw it out there. Way better than the alternative.
Makes a lot of sense. What do you got planned today? Anything?
Golfing, baby.
You're golfing?
It's raining here in Des Moines. But yeah, we have a charity golf outing at Waveland Golf Course this morning. It's the flyer cracks me up though. The flyer cracks me up because it says first annual charity golf outing. You can't have a first annual.
It's just the first. You don't be able to, because if you make zero money, you may not.
Yeah,
annual means
it comes back every year, and the first time it happens, together again for the first time.
Oh.
It's their final farewell tour ever. The Eagles. Kiss.
Share.
For the 7th time, their farewell tour, forever saying goodbye. This time they mean it.
Eagles, the long goodbye.
Yeah, exactly. Your final chance ever to see Motley Crue until next year.
I'm trying to think who the worst is.
The Eagles?
Yeah, I would say that.
The Eagles have had like 3 going away, farewell, finale, never ever going to see us. We're making money here.
And they're back at the Sphere this weekend. They're at the Sphere now. They're doing
dude, the Eagles have played their final concert ever.
No.
What?
They're at the Sphere. They're doing a residency at the Sphere.
Oh, a resurrection?
Because, George Strait retired, but then he had to clarify, well, I didn't retire. I'm just not going on a regular. I'm going to pick and choose where I go.
I didn't retire. I just ended that tour. Oh, you guys misunderstood. Yeah. You thought last time. No, I meant like last time this year. Last time this month, you're going to get a chance to see me. I should have clarified.
515-517-2303. All right, we got to wrap up the show. Everybody have a great Monday. We'll be back tomorrow at 6 a.m. Rush Radio Show powered by Willis Automotive.
It's Body Armor. Real hydration with electrolytes. No artificial dyes and coconut water. Choose better. Body Armor.
With over 260 beers on tap, El Bait Shop isn't just another craft beer bar. It's the best. Beer lovers know El Bait Shop, 200 Southwest 2nd, Des Moines.
There's a new spin on casual dining near Drake University. Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers. Craveable faves, flatbreads, delicious burgers, frozen cocktails, and a crazy cool vibe. Get to Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers today.
Are you thinking about buying a home this year? Start by getting pre-approved with Gary Presnall at Northwest Bank in Des Moines to see how much you can qualify for and what loan programs meet your needs. Gary can get you pre-approved in 30 minutes or less with a pre-approval letter to you. Gary offers first-time homebuyers programs, VA loans along with FHA, IFA, and conventional loans. Call Gary at 515-975-6767 or find his profile at nw.bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
After Hawkeye football games this fall, Travis and Ross are right where they belong, with you, taking your calls and giving unfiltered feedback. Right after Hawkeye football games, it's the Black and Gold Rush on therushradio.com, the TuneIn app, and on YouTube.
Trick or treat, candy to eat, get your car some brand new feet. Until the end of October, you can buy 3 tires and get 1 for $1. And we're also still doing our $25 off battery install. Scary good deals. All those treats, and you don't even need to show up with a joke. Give us a call or head online to willisinfinity.com.
Bread is made from scratch, freshly baked with locally sourced ingredients and love. At Big Sky Bakery, we take great pride in our delicious products. We know you'll enjoy them almost as much as we enjoy baking.
Looking for the perfect golf escape? Experience Links-style golf right here in Ames at Coldwater Golf Links. With rolling fairways, large greens, and unique routing, it's golf the way it's meant to be played. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, you'll love our course's welcoming atmosphere and friendly staff. Grab your clubs, book a tee time, and make every round unforgettable. Coldwater Golf Links, where great golf leads to great memories. Visit coldwatergolf.com to book your round today.
Back to the Rush. Strong opinions, weak filters, and just enough sense to stay on the air. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.